Hi there. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. In today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this super cute self-close box that perfectly holds a little tiny Dove Promise chocolate. I originally saw this idea recently by fellow demonstrator Anne Melvin in the UK, and I tweaked it a little bit to have the dimensions fit a Dove Promise chocolate so it doesn't shake around too much. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to use a piece of designer series paper that measures 4.5 by 3.5. This comes from the Coffee Break designer series paper. It's a really sweet combination of patterns, and I decided to go with this pattern because it's got a kind of a combination of some really pretty colors. If you were using a directional paper, you want to make sure that the up and down of your pattern is along the 4.5 inch side. So we're going to go ahead and make some score lines here. And we're going to go ahead and score it at 2 inches and 4 inches. I'm going to then rotate it clockwise and score it at 1 inch and 2.5 inches. Now, if you wanted to alter the height of the box, you want to make sure that you have score lines at 1 inch from the bottom and 1 inch from the top. So because this is 3.5 inches tall, we have 1 inch and 2.5 inches, but you could certainly make the box a little bit taller if you'd like. I'm then going to rotate it again clockwise, and now we're dealing with the bottom of the box here, which is up towards the top, and I'm going to score at 1.5 inch, but only down to that first 1 inch score line. We're going to do the same thing at 3.5 inches, and essentially what I'm doing is sectioning off this bottom to be 4 little 1 inch squares. Okay, so that's all the scoring that we're going to do here on the Simply Scored. But go ahead and hold on to the stylus from the Simply Scored because we're going to put in a couple of diagonal score lines here. I like to use the Stampin' Pierce mat to it gives a little bit of give for making those score lines. It's not necessary, I just prefer it. And you're not going to be able to see the score lines very well on the video, so let me pull in a little template for you. Essentially, we did all of the vertical and horizontal score lines on the Simply Scored. So now we're going to go in and make these diagonal score lines. Now we made those little 1 inch squares along the bottom. And so we're going to use the intersection of that bottom 1 inch score with the 1 inch score going upwards to go from this point to this corner. And we're going to just repeat that on all of these sections. Okay? So the easiest way to do that is I'm going to put my stylus right there at this intersection here. I'm going to bring in a metal ruler, and we're just going to score from here to that score line up here. Essentially, we're doing this score line here. Okay? I'm just going to go ahead and do that all the way down. Okay, now that that scoring's done, go ahead and put the Stampin' Pierce mat away and your stylus. I'm going to bring this back out to show you in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish on all of the vertical and horizontal score lines. Okay, so now once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and bring in our paper snips. And I'm going to cut away these two little small sections on the top and the bottom. And I'm also notching in just slightly on this little tab piece here. That's going to be the piece that we use to adhere the box together. All right, so I've cut away those two pieces. So we've just done that. We've cut out this section and notched in slightly on this side tab. The next thing we're going to do is cut up each of these little 1 inch vertical score lines. And the last cut we're going to make is up here, this top score line. We're going to cut this to that 1 inch score line that goes horizontally. Okay, now that we've done those cuts, now it's going to be very easy for us to fold and burnish on those diagonal score lines. Okay, so we've folded and burnished all the score lines. Now I'm going to use just some of the liquid multi-purpose glue and put some glue along that tab there. And then we're going to go ahead and fold this half down. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the scalloped tag topper punch. We specifically cut the dimensions of this so that it would be 2 inches wide when folded like this. That's just going to slide right into the guide there. Make sure it's pushed all the way to the top and punch. And next we're going to go ahead and adhere the bottom here. So I just kind of pinch it from the sides. Also paying attention to where the seam is. This is going to be considered the front of our box. So one of these 2 tabs is going to be the last tab that we fold down. So I'm going to go ahead and fold in. What you're trying to do on the bottom is make these all square with each other. And that's going to give this box its shape. So I'm just going to fold in the 1 tab here, add some liquid glue on this tab. Now you'll notice when you push it down, it's going to kind of dip in a little bit, and that's totally normal. You see the paper's kind of scooping in this way. Completely normal, okay? Then the next thing we're going to do is glue this tab down. Again, just trying to keep all of those flaps square with each other. And then finally the last tab. Each time pressing down to allow that liquid glue to adhere. There we go. So this is going to be the front of our box. Let's go ahead and put in our piece of chocolate. Pinching it closed. Now see, it will hold together all by itself. Super cute. All right, the last thing we're going to do is a little bit of stamping. I'm going to use the stamp set Banners for You and the sentiment Enjoy. I'm going to stamp that with Early Espresso ink. And we're going to go ahead and punch that out with the 1-inch circle punch. And then I've cut out a scalloped circle from the Layering Circles Framelits dies, and I chose the smallest of the scallop circles. It layers perfectly behind the 1-inch circle. All right, then I'm going to add a little silver metallic enamel shape right underneath the word Enjoy. We're going to pop that up on the front of our sweet little box using a Stampin' Dimensional. Super cute. This would be really sweet to just give to people as a little party favor, or even just to randomly give to people as a random act of kindness. Thank you so much for watching today. If you're interested in purchasing any of the products I used in today's video, I'll have links in the description. There's also a link directly to my online store as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss out on my next video. I'd also love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post Monday through Friday projects to inspire you. Thanks again for watching. You have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.